Zach, I went all out for this. Okay,
Mm.
I created what's that like the hot board list or whatever
Ooh.
with games and everything. Like I got stuff over here. I don't have an order because you can see it as well, and I don't want you taking my picks. Um, so so I do have some thoughts though, but. Who should get the first draft pick here? We didn't talk about this beforehand. I
I
mean,
feel it was your
should we let
birthday.
the chat decide? I
Uh,
mean,
I was gonna say it was your birthday yesterday. So,
oh, okay.
but I was gonna say the chat can decide, but I would default to you as the birthday boy.
Okay. So that means if I get the very first pick, I am picking what I see as the most likely upset in the Big Ten next year. This is a pretty loaded statement. So I guess I should preface with this. I'm not picking any games that are like there could be a question on like which team is going to be favored and which one isn't. Like Indiana, Illinois, I'm completely leaving that one off because I have no idea what like who's going to be favored there or anything like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving that one off. I'm not doing Illinois, USC, anything like that. Like there are certain games like that. Like I'm not looking at Ohio State and Penn State or anything like that because those are just too close. So I'm not looking at any of those. I'm looking at games where I think for sure there is going to be a favorite coming into the season. Zach, I they've won the last few years in this rivalry game.
No, don't do it.
Should I pick it number one?
Don't do it. Oh dear.
Okay, I guess I should also say this as well. We are also going to be taking points on this. My picks, I get a point. It for every upset that I get is right. Same with Zach, and then we'll
So
come back at
we're
the end
gonna
of the
keep
season.
track. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
Oh,
keeping a list and everything.
oh,
So we'll
oh.
see. We each get 5 picks out of this top 10. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I call me biased, call me a homer. That's fine. I will be a bias and a homer in this instance. Zach, you can pick it later on if you want. I am going to pick. Actually, should I pick Illinois over Ohio State?
I say nothing. You can do what you want.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to pick Indiana over Penn State.
That was one of my top ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be it for me. Indiana over Penn State. If you look here on the chart, Indiana plays Penn State after going to Maryland. They're going to go to Penn State. Penn State is going to be coming off a game where they are at Ohio State. Could it be the whiteout game? I mean, I'm looking at that week there. I don't really know if I see another like big enough game that's going to take big noon away.
Hmm.
But I, yeah, I don't know. For me, it was either Indiana over Penn State or Illinois over Ohio State there as my first one. A couple other options, but I guess I'm giving you a hint at what I'm going to pick if you don't pick one of those. Zach, your thoughts?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think that's a really good pick because Penn State has to play at Ohio State the week before.
Yeah, it's like a trap game, kind of, right?
Yeah, so like Penn State by at Ohio State, Indiana, whereas like Indiana, like they play at Oregon, that's hard, but then they have a couple of home games and then at Maryland. So like they have 3 games that they could really build some momentum up with. And yeah, like I think Penn State, they might have the same problem they've had the past couple of years where their offense gets stagnant because they don't have somebody who can take the top off your defense. And that's the type of game that Indiana can beat you in. So I think it's a great pick.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Zach, you are on the clock.
Illinois upsets Ohio State.
Ah,
That was my number one pick. And so when you said, should I pick that? I'm like, don't do it, do it. But I'm like, go ahead, you can pick it. I have said, so if you look at Ohio State's schedule, they have Texas, Grambling State, Ohio, and then a bye. And then they have to travel to Washington, home, Minnesota, then at Illinois, at Wisconsin. And like low key, Ohio State's going to be favored by at least a touchdown in every single one of those games. But Illinois like playing at Illinois is hard. Illinois has talent, and you most likely are going to have Julian Sayin, although the reports coming out now seem like everybody's saying Lincoln Keen-Holtz is the guy. I don't buy it. It's going to be Sayin until otherwise. I'm just saying it's Sayin. LOL.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Sorry for the terrible joke, but I just think Burt, like Ryan Day, I don't think has coached against Burt yet since Burt's been back. If he has, I forget when.
I don't think he has.
And I just think it's the middle of the season for Ohio State where they're going to be working out kinks, a lot of road games. And you look at Illinois' schedule, like at Indiana's going to be tough. They get USC at home. That'll be tough. But like they don't have to travel a ton. Like everything's close to them. So like I don't love the way the schedule breaks for that. So I like Illinois to upset Ohio State there.
Illinois, the last time they beat Ohio State was 2007. The last time they played was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The last time Illinois won in Champaign against Ohio State, you got to guess?
I want to say 2000.
91.
Is it 91?
Yeah, they won 1, 2, 3, 4. They won 4 games in Columbus after that one.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. But, the last time Burt played Ohio State was when they upset number 1 Ohio State in Camp Randall.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Philip says outright upsets not covering the spread.
Yep,
correct.
outright.
Yeah,
outright.
We have no idea what the spread is. So
yeah.
And then I liked this comment from Illini Bubba. Where is it? Do we like Zack is picking Illinois though?
I may be protecting the Buckeyes right now.
You've Billy Tuesday has banished you from the show.
Oh man!
Listen, I would just leave it at that. Okay. Question, Zack: is Ohio State going to be favored over Texas?
No.
You think Texas is going to be favored over Ohio State in Columbus?
I think the Arch Manning factor will matter.
Can I pick that one, or is that one too close?
I'd give it.
Because
I had it on my list
for sure. Like one team over the other, but I'm questioning that one, so I don't know if I can.
I had it on my list.
So I can pick that one.
Yes.
Okay, but if Ohio State is favored, it's a wash. I can't get any points from it. I guess is kind of the
that's fair.
There.
That's fair.
I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk. I think Ohio State might be favored over Texas. All right. Let me cross out these ones here that I can no longer pick. All right. I will take a rivalry game to end the season.
Oh,
the very last game of the year for these two teams. I will take Washington over Oregon.
Ooh, that is a fun pick. I did not have that on my list. That's a good pick.
At Washington?
Yeah.
Washington's got a pretty hard slate of home games this year. They get Ohio State at home, Illinois at home. Do they lose 2 home games early in the year and they're like, man, we got to protect home field, and then they got Oregon coming in. Oregon, like, things are looking better in some areas, but they just lost their entire secondary. So, I don't know. Does Jed Fish get things rolling? I don't know. I'm not picking that it's going to happen, but
it's your number 2 pick.
Yeah.
It's your second round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. That's what I'll go with. Washington over Oregon. Zack, you are on the clock.
I'm torn between a couple. Indiana over Penn State was actually one of my top ones.
Dave's here. The line is already out. Ohio State is
Oh,
-6. So
I
yeah,
was
see,
wrong.
that would be a stupid
Sorry.
pick by me. So thanks,
Yeah.
Dave's here. I didn't even think to look that one up, but yeah, that line would totally be out on that one already. So all right, sorry, go ahead.
So I'm going to. This is maybe because I talked with Larry last week.
Wait, you're gonna pick a Maryland upset in
I
round two?
I am.
In
Be,
round two?
okay,
Okay, all right,
but
go ahead. I actually no, please do. Please take a Maryland upset.
oh no, do it. No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna go Oklahoma over Michigan.
Drat. I talked you out of it. Okay,
Yeah.
so you think Michigan will be favored over Oklahoma?
At least according to the way too early line or the
Okay.
way too early rankings. Let me see if the line is.
I don't
Um,
think that line is out. I have not seen that one yet. Okay. All right.
okay.
Oklahoma over Michigan. I have an SEC upset that I'm waiting a little while on because I don't think you're going to pick it.
Probably not. Um,
Do you know what I'm talking
maybe.
about?
No, nope, nope, not at all.
Okay.
Unless you're talking about Texas over Ohio, or no, that wouldn't. Never
No, I'm
mind.
talking about a different one.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
picking that.
Okay. Okay. I'll pick it last then. Very good. Sweet.
My strategy's out the. Yeah, everything I said before about Underwood. Um, you're going up against a guy who loves, like, his favorite thing to do is to make young quarterbacks squirm.
Yeah.
And you're traveling to Norman, like that just screams upset to me.
I kind of want to pick Michigan over Nebraska or Michigan over USC, but I just don't know. Like, I don't know if Michigan's gonna be favored in that one or if one of those two are gonna be favored. Like, I looked through this Michigan schedule and thought, where is the for sure like upset pick? And obviously, like, it went to Ohio State there at the end of the schedule. They've won the past 4 years in a row, and they were just what
Yeah.
20-point favorite. Ohio State was just 20-point favorites, and they won. So, like, but that is such a big one. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get points from it. So I don't
Yeah.
want to pick it that big again. So like I have Nebraska over Michigan and like USC over Michigan on here, but I don't. I don't think I can do it. All right, I'm gonna pick. This one's off a little bit, and maybe they won't be favored, but Minnesota over Nebraska.
Mm.
That one's kinda. I know the line on that one is not out. That one's kind of risky because depending on what happens in the season, we'll see who's favored and all that stuff. But you look at this Nebraska schedule. Nebraska's going to go to Maryland and then to Minnesota. That's a lot of travel in a row for them. And then Minnesota's coming right off of home against Purdue to home against Nebraska. If Nebraska beats Michigan, I mean, we say this every year about Michigan, but like, or about Nebraska, like they could be 6-0 going into this Minnesota game,
Yeah. Well, and even 5-1 would
or even
be.
5-1. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in Minnesota, like they get Ohio State at Cal, like they're gonna have at least one loss on there. I don't think they lose to Cal, but that's still a lot of travel, so you never know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they're gonna have at least one loss on there. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. Someone said it might be a 50-50 game, but I
Yeah.
think that is.
I just need I just need Nebraska favored though, even if it's 1.5. I just need them favored.
Yeah. Minnesota's at home. And I think Nebraska will be favored in that game. And I think that is. I think that is probably more likely than where I was thinking about with Minnesota. I'm probably not going to draft where I
And
was
also,
the
Coy
upset.
Perich, like, you're not telling me Coy Perich is gonna make a play in that game? I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a lot of hype in Coy Perich this year.
As you should. I think he's going to be one of the top safeties in the conference.
Yeah,
he's
gonna be great.
He's really good. Really good.
Let's see.
So is it third round?
It is, but let's take a commercial break really fast because we got to get one more commercial in. So we're gonna hit one more commercial break, and then Zach will come back with his third round pick. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Home Field is your go-to destination for premium collegiate apparel with a passion for comfort and a flair for vintage design. Home Field brings you gear that is comfortable and stylish. With over 150 colleges to choose from, Home Field digs deep into the archives, uncovering forgotten logos, iconic mascots, and legendary moments to create one-of-a-kind apparel. Use my code TBTH for 15% off for new customers, or use my link in the description. Back here on the Big Ten Huddle, Zach is on the clock. Zach, give us your upset pick.
All right, I'll go with where I was going to go before. So I don't trust Jedd Fisch away from home. Maryland has a bye.
Oh.
And then they play Washington.
Oh.
Washington plays Ohio State the week before.
Oh.
So I'm picking Maryland to upset Washington at home.
Wow. Maryland over Washington. Larry is fist pumping the sky right now.
Mm-hmm.
I like Larry.
He's good. He's a good guy.
We got to get Larry on again.
Mm-hmm.
He was awesome.
He said he wants to be on during the wrestling rankings.
Oh, yeah. We need so many people for that one.
I know. It's going to be so good.
That's gonna be so fun. I got to start arranging that. We got enough votes in the thing. I got to start arranging that.
So, 4-hour show. Here we go.
It really might be. We got to do that one on a Friday night. I cannot hang if it's on like a Tuesday or something.
Oh man,
I could not hang. All right. Okay, so you picked Maryland over Washington there.
Mm-hmm.
Should I don't know. Should I go with something juicy? Because I feel like we need, we each went with kind of like maybe a not as juicy one there. Minnesota over Nebraska. I feel like I need to go with something juicy. The Indiana fans might hate me. It's okay. All right. John is about to turn the podcast off.
Oh no,
John, please do not do so. You can point and laugh when I'm wrong. Iowa over Indiana.
Yeah, I can see that.
Indiana's coming off a big game against Illinois. It's at sorry, John, I just did it. It is at Iowa. Iowa going into this game, they could lose to Iowa State. We'll see what happens. So Indiana's ranked above them. So even though it's at Iowa, I still expect Indiana to be the one favored in this game. It's a similar reason, Indiana fans. It's a similar reason why I picked you over Penn State. So just remember, I picked you to get the upset over Penn State. This one too. So yeah. So, all right, Zach. John is still commenting, so it looks like he had nice. It's not that you're gonna say pretty. No, I'm not that stupid. I'm not that stupid, John.
I might be.
All right, Zach.
So you said we need to be.
You have 2 more picks.
So you said we got to be juicy, right?
You don't have to be.
You don't have to.
I got a juicy one set up next, so feel free to not be juicy if you want to.
Oh man.
Let's just say it wouldn't be a show without some trashing of the SEC. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah. No, that is a juicy one. That is a juicy one. What you're talking about.
So.
Illini Bubba's upset with me that I picked Illinois to win a game, so I might as well pick one where they're going to lose.
Get the upset over Illinois, okay?
Because then they'll win, and everybody will be happy.
Then they'll just thank you.
Yeah. So I see. This is the problem with Washington, though, is they are so good at home, and they're terrible away. But they host Illinois at home. My only reservation is that Washington's schedule up to that point is pretty dang hard. Yeah. Like it's so. Do I actually want to pick that? It's probably more likely than the one I thought about.
Well, you got 2 more left, so
I know. We're getting to I think the more difficult ones because a lot of them are 50-50 games. All of my top 5 are gone.
yeah.
Um,
Like I
um,
could pick Penn State over Ohio State, but if Ohio State loses to Washington and Illinois, they might not be favored. Like if they lose to
yeah,
Texas, Washington, Illinois, I'm not predicting that happens, Ohio State
yeah,
fans. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
yeah,
If that happens, like Penn State would be the favored team in that scenario, right? Like so.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna lay it out on the line. I'm not gonna do the Illinois game yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna be stupid.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
well, we were just talking
really
about being bold. You want to be
stupid.
stupid instead of bold? Okay. All right.
I'm
Go
gonna be
ahead.
bold and stupid.
Okay.
Purdue under the lights
That was not the right word you should have said first, Zach.
gets USC.
Okay. All of our USC fans just left.
Okay, here's the reason why.
They are pounding their computer right now.
Remember the last Purdue upset I picked, Notre Dame won by like a bajillion. Jeremiah Love just scored again. But again, it's about schedule. USC has to travel. It's probably going to be a Friday night game. And, short schedule. I know that Southern Cal doesn't play anybody first 2 weeks. But I just think, Barry Odom, I think he's going to have his guys ready to play.
You think maybe they're looking ahead to Notre Dame?
Possibly. Well, no, USC doesn't play Notre Dame that week.
Oh, no, Purdue does. Sorry.
No, you know what? Can I take that back? Let me take it back. Please let me take it back.
No do-overs, Zach. I've already written it in. No,
dang it.
You can take it back.
I take it back. I take it back. Sure. I'm going Washington, Illinois. That's my pick.
Okay, fine.
You
guys, Illinois fans, he juked you.
I'm sorry. I started talking about it, and I'm like, who's the quarterback for Purdue? We don't know, and everybody's been saying it has not looked good. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Aaron Nolan, though. Aaron Nolan going to Purdue.
Wait, he is?
That's what the Purdue insider said. It's like the name to watch would be Aaron Nolan to transfer from South Carolina to Purdue, which I was like, he'll play. I don't think he's playing at South Carolina because of that Sellers dude, but
yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. It might be better to sit on the bench than play at Purdue.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't pull the trigger. I'm gonna go
Purdue fans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Washington, Illinois. I just think I don't know how likely it is with Washington's schedule. But the one saving grace is that. Oh no, never mind. Forget that. Washington has to travel a lot. They have to travel to Maryland. They have to travel to Michigan. So it's going to be tough. Illinois is coming off a bye, but I could see where, especially if they beat Ohio State, there's a little jubilation. They get a little fat and happy, and then Washington is able to beat them at home.
All right. The OHIO podcast. Eric says, "Don't give me a heart attack, Jr." Eric, I almost. So here is my thought process. Okay, I almost picked Michigan over Ohio State, my very first pick, and here was my thought process: was if I hedge my emotions of losing, like I don't gamble, but my thought process was always if I do gamble, I'm just gonna gamble on all the teams I don't want to win. On winning, and then I'm sad they won, but I make money off of it, So then if I lose money, it's like, well, I'm happy my team won, but I don't know, maybe that would ruin sports for me. So I just don't gamble. So that was my thought process there, but I couldn't do it, Eric. Don't worry. And then Troy V says I got Oregon losing to Washington at the end of the year. That was my second pick there, Troy. You and I, one of the same. I stole that one from Zach. He didn't even have it on his radar, but I still stole it from him. All right, last pick. 5th round. Last pick. I am going to go with oh no, you're good, Troy. You're good. I was just no worries there. I appreciated the comment. I'm gonna go with Wisconsin over Alabama.
Trust in Luke Fickell.
Listen, they gave Alabama a pretty hard time when Tyler Van Dyke was still in last year, right? Like, I don't know. Do we really trust this whole Alabama quarterback situation? Like, as much as we're hearing, like, well, Julian Sayin's not looking great at Ohio State, like, Alabama can't seem to pick their quarterback right now. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on with
Mm.
them as well. Like, I would feel better about this if if Alabama didn't bring Ryan Grubb back, but I don't know. Like, is it becoming too much down there for Kalen DeBoer? Like, he just lost his bowl game. There's not a whole lot of momentum for Alabama right now. Like, they're not doing nearly as well in the recruiting trail as they have been in the past. Like, our
Yep.
vibes down there right now. I have no idea who Alabama plays the first 2 weeks of the season. But like, couldn't there just be something poetic there about like everybody's doubting Luke Fickell, thinking he's gonna have a terrible year, thinking he's gonna get himself fired, win 4 games, maybe 5 if he's lucky, and then week 3 he comes out and he takes down Alabama. I
Mm.
just think it would be awesome.
They play at Florida State, and then they play LA Monroe. So there could be some false sense of security because Florida State stinks,
Yeah,
and
they might
LA
win 2 games
Monroe,
again.
yeah, LA Monroe might be better than Florida State.
Watch
Like
out for them.
that might be the more challenging game at this point. So maybe false sense. Wisconsin does have to go to Alabama, but I would love
But
it
is
for
that good for
Fickell.
them? Maybe like do they continue to feed into like the nobody believes in us type? Like, I
I
don't
think
know. Like,
there is certainly some of that there.
Luke
Um,
Fickell seems like the type of guy that would give that edge to his team, right?
yeah,
Philip
yeah.
asked if Alabama's going to be good next year. I mean, they're like 8th in way too early polls and stuff like that. I mean, they're going to be one of the highest talent composites in the nation because it's Alabama. But
Yeah.
I
My
mean, they
my
scored 3 points against Oklahoma last year.
yeah. My
Like,
my only concern with that is like Ryan Williams just being Ryan Williams. But I don't have a problem with the pick. Like I think like they lost one of their best running backs in Justice Haynes,
yeah.
right? They they don't know what they're doing at quarterback. And there is very clearly been an effect of Nick Saban leaving. Like as good as
That
I thought.
offensive line, even under Nick Saban, his last 2 or 3 years, was not what we've come to see from Alabama offensive lines either.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's very interesting. Dave's here says Michigan over Ohio State isn't going to be an upset by game time. Hot take there by Dave's
Mhm.
here. I like it. Dave's here. Very good. We appreciate you being here. We
Yeah.
appreciate the hot takes. Love it. All right, Zach, your final pick of the
Yeah.
draft.
It's not going to be Purdue. I've talked myself out of that.
If you pick 2 Purdue games, yeah,
I've talked myself out of it.
yeah.
I
I think I talked you out of it, unfortunately.
well, you did, but also I think as I was like verbally processing, I'm like, this is dumb. Don't do this, Zach. But you kind of did too. I'm gonna go. Someone mentioned Northwestern earlier. It's like Northwestern's
I
good
had
for
one of their
one.
games on here. Yeah.
And here's my thought process. Minnesota goes to Autzen before they go to Evanston. And I think that might be enough to give Northwestern a little bit of juice going into that game. So I got Northwestern over Minnesota.
All right. Northwestern. I had that one down on my list. I wasn't gonna pick it, but I thought it was notable enough to put on there. Northwestern over Minnesota. Zach, neither one of us actually you did. You picked Oklahoma over Michigan.
Yes.
I didn't pick a single upset over Michigan. Primarily because I don't know who they're going to be favored over and who they're not going to be favored over.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Troy says, I think that Minnesota Northwestern game is at Wrigley this year. It might be. I didn't look that up. It might very well be. Does that give you some trepidation there that Northwestern isn't going to be playing in the Bayside Stadium?
I don't love it because I do think the Bayside Stadium actually, or the Lakeside Stadium, gives them
Lakeside, yeah, sorry.
it gives them more of an advantage just because they can control the crowd more. But I still think Northwestern, like, I don't think Minnesota fans are going to travel nearly as much as like fans in Columbus would.
Yeah.
I could be wrong by that, but I think Northwestern. It doesn't change my thought on the game.
Dave Sear says Michigan and Northwestern is at Wrigley this year.
Yeah,
But they could do two. Didn't they do two? They did
they did a
Illinois.
few.
They
Yeah,
did Illinois and Ohio State last year.
yeah. I
Yeah,
still think that's such a cool concept, though, that
it
they're
is.
playing at Wrigley. If
It
I
is.
if I lived closer, I would go in a heartbeat to see a
Yeah.
football game there.
Dave Sear says it's Wayne going. I would totally do it. That's a once in a lifetime chance there, Dave Sear. If you got the resources to do that and everything, I'd totally do it. So yeah. And
Yeah,
Troy says Minnesota's playing there too. So another 2 games at Wrigley this year. That's
yeah,
awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I would if you're a Minnesota fan or a Michigan fan, just do it. That's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities type of things. So yeah, just do it. If you got the resources and everything to do it, that would be awesome. So,
mm-hmm.
all right, Zach, you want to have us go through a few of our games that maybe we were thinking about going with, but we didn't. I'll go
Mm-hmm.
first
Go
with a
for it.
couple. Michigan State over Michigan was one I was
Yep.
thinking about. Didn't go with it. I figure Michigan State will for sure be favored in that one. I think Michigan State's got some opportunity to, be good this season, but I don't know. Like I need to see Aiden Childs improve before I really start believing in him. Another one, UCLA over Penn State. UCLA's brought
Ooh.
in some guys in the transfer portal. I don't think it'll happen. Obviously, I didn't pick it, but Penn State is coming off of, let's see, they're coming off of Oregon right before that game, traveling across the country. We saw what Penn State looked like last year, traveling across the country to USC. I don't know. I thought about that. And then Nebraska over Michigan, I thought of too, but I just didn't think
Yeah.
there would be enough there. Washington over Illinois, you chose. Like I said, Michigan over Ohio State. I think the only other one, Purdue over Rutgers. That was my Purdue one that I had.
Yeah.
Purdue over Rutgers.
Yeah, I
I
think
thought about.
that's a good one.
So
I so I had this would have been a bold one, but I did think about Minnesota over Oregon because even though they'd be on the road, they have a bye, so they could rest up.
and it's not as far for them as it is for other Big Ten teams.
Yeah, and Oregon would be coming off. They'd be coming off an away game at Kinnick against Iowa. So I was like, I think there's some opportunity there.
Yeah, I'd like the juice on that one a lot more if it was like coming off an away game against Ohio State or Penn State
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah,
That's the problem with Oregon is they have Penn State and then a bye.
yeah, yeah. It's not fun.
I mean, I say problem for Oregon. That's good for Oregon fans.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but yeah.
it's the problem for Indiana is that
Yeah.
Oregon's coming off a bye.
Yeah, I would love that
And it's at
Indiana
home.
game if it was Oregon at Penn State and then Indiana right after that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So I had like Oregon, Minnesota over Oregon was a thought. I actually let's see, where's some other ones? I did have USC over Notre Dame.
I thought about that one too, but isn't it at Notre Dame?
It is, but like they're losing their leader. And USC, like they have a bye. It's just at home against Michigan and then at Notre Dame and then another bye. So that I feel like they can really game plan for those 2 weeks because it's just like bye, 2 games, bye. So they can kind of let it all hang out in those 2 games.
True.
I did have Ohio State upsetting Texas, but as we determined, it's not an upset. So let's see, what else did I have? I tried to pick one for every team, like or have someone in the chamber for every team. So I had Indiana upsetting Penn State, Iowa upsetting Iowa State.
Any we didn't have. We said Michigan State over Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska over Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, so one that I think is a little tricky for Iowa is I have Rutgers over Iowa because I could see where Kaliak Manis and the receivers continue to improve. I'm sorry, Eric. I did. That was my number one pick.
I thought about it, but I didn't
Yeah.
because I'm a good Ohio State fan, unlike Zach.
Okay. I'm a pessimistic one. We know this. We've determined this. I'm the guy who says Ryan Day should be fired after. I'm not. I'm making a pledge.
We both said it, buddy. We both said it.
Yeah, I am making a pledge, though. I will not. Like, Ryan Day deserves so much credit. Like, I'm not. He gets at least 2 years from me before I say anything like that again. And yes, Eric, it scares me to death too. I think that whole 4-game stretch for Ohio State it's tougher than people think.
Ohio State has a sneaky hard schedule. Like you don't have Oregon on there again, but that 4-game stretch in the very middle there, that's concerning. So
yeah.
The Penn State guy said I'm a better Indiana fan.
Okay, I need to clear something.
The Penn State guy, you're not wrong.
I just want to clear something up. I do not want Loxley in Columbus.
Oh.
I do not. I think the story for him in Maryland is great, and it's changed my heart in how I think about Mike Loxley. Keep him away from Ohio State.
Does Mike Loxley beat Michigan, though, last year?
No. Has he ever beaten Michigan?
I mean, he's given Michigan some good games.
So is Ohio State.
I don't know.
Ryan Day has actually beat Michigan.
Ryan Day's got the block, though. He's got the mental block. I mean, hopefully it's gone this year. We'll see. I think he's got the mental block, and Sharon Moore's in his head, man.
I think it's gone. Yeah. I think the playoff
also said that
run,
last year too.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
Okay.
No,
I did. Okay.
This is my thought on Ryan Day. He is so good at playing from ahead, and from a psychological standpoint, the national championship and the playoff run was him basically saying, "Yeah, I have proven that I am one of the top 2 coaches in college football. I don't have anything else to prove."
Yeah.
And so and not like the rivalry game is still the most important thing for Ohio State. Like anyone who says that it's fine that they didn't beat Michigan and still won the national championship, they don't understand the rivalry. But what the national championship does is it validates you as one of the top coaches in college football. And that's, I think, what he was looking for. And now it's like, we've done it. We've climbed the mountaintop. Yeah. So I actually am looking for teams that are not as good to kind of catch them by surprise. I do think they beat Michigan this year in Ann Arbor. And I would stand on that.
So do I get a point if they don't? Should that be our tiebreaker?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I will stand on that.
All right. Tiebreaker is Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
If Michigan wins, I win the tiebreaker, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Illini, I was just going to say, Illini, every time comments about Ryan Day come up on this episode, I roll my eyes. You all have been so harsh on an elite coach. I would agree with you. I would just say, I think, I want to caveat this. Anything directed at his family is completely out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. Like all that garbage. But he did, I don't know if he deserved how harsh we were, but he deserves some of it.
I mean, when you come to Ohio State, that's the goal. Beat that team up north. So, yeah. I mean, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for what I said about how it went, but but I think we were proved wrong when he went and he won the national championship.
Yeah.
So
that's right. That run was crazy.
It was crazy. So, yeah. let's see. Zach said, or Eric said something. He said Zach, that game scares me to death this year.
Yep.
So yeah, it's right smack there. It's right smack dab in the middle of that 4 game stretch. That is pretty tough for Ohio State. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
we'll see. All right. Any other comments that we need to get to before Illini said you should feel bad? Yeah. All right. Okay, last one. Dave's here says, who didn't think OSU was going to win? You'd be a bigger homer than I
Yeah.
am during P. Well, that was the thing that I said, like, with the game, and I don't really talk
Hmm.
about it because, like, I don't think it's relevant now, but like everybody say, like all the Michigan fans that were saying, "Oh, Ohio State fans don't care about the game beforehand." Like, now they don't care about the game because they won the national championship. And I was like, I saw multiple Michigan fans on Twitter saying, "We don't even care what happens in this game. Like, this game doesn't mean anything to us
Yeah.
because we know we're rebuilding." So for me, it was always like, whatever team didn't win that one was gonna try and say, "Oh, it didn't matter to us because X, Y, and Z and everything else." But
Hmm.
yeah. So